USCIS is really denying cases on green cards related to financial sponsorship. I'm looking at this right now, and a lot of people are getting their green card adjustment of status cases denied because their financial sponsors cannot meet the income requirements. I had a guy sit in my office who had an adjustment of status, a real marriage, a child, and he filed for his I-864 and he had a joint sponsor. The joint sponsor did not show enough proof of the income that's required, okay? And remember, these poverty guidelines, when you're doing an adjustment of status green card marriage case, you have to show that there's enough income by you, the sponsor, or the joint sponsor. And those guidelines went up this year in March 2025. All right. So you cannot rely on old guidelines. All right. The guy sitting in my office was saying, I think we meet the requirements. And I looked at it. I said, no, you don't. Okay. You didn't meet it last year and you don't meet it definitely this year. So today we're going to talk about really quickly what you do if you're trying to understand the table in terms of how much income you need to have if you're the sponsor or the joint sponsor needs to have, okay? So let's look at this example. In order to determine that, you have to go to the website USCIS, all right? You have to look at the table that says I-864P, all right? That's the poverty guidelines for the affidavit of support, all right? So I'm going to give you a simple example. Let's say I'm an American citizen. I'm sponsoring my wife. Okay, I have no children. I'm doing adjustment of status for her. I need to show, if I'm the primary sponsor, I need to show over $26,437, okay? But, let's say I don't meet that income requirement and I go to like a brother of mine who says, hey, I've got enough money. I make, $30,000, but the brother is married, has a child. Well, you know what? That's a problem. He's not going to be able to sponsor, that immigrant because that's going to get bumped up. So for every person that sponsor has, whether it's a wife that's a dependent or a child that's a dependent, it's going to be adding $5,500. All right. So this can get pretty high when you have a family, let's say a family of four, and that family of four is now trying to sponsor, let's say, your wife and so forth, right? You got a friend, he's got like a wife and he's got two kids and he's trying to say, I'll be your sponsor for your wife. You have to look at the classification for 5 people, and the 5 people requirement is $47,062. All right, guys, it's pushing it close to $50,000. And don't get your case denied because, filing adjustment of status green card cases are really expensive. And I need to make sure you get this right.